Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy Fitzmonk TV here, aka GLorin33. I am back here today with a video. We're going to be reacting to all of the news that came out today from Disney's investor meeting. And they revealed a lot of new projects, all right? Tons of new works for all of Disney. But the biggest news came out of Marvel and Star Wars. They announced over 20 new projects for both those universes that are going to be coming out over the next few years. For those of you guys who don't know, I do put some Marvel content on this channel, all right? This is mainly an anime slash pro wrestling channel, but I do have a little bit of Marvel content here and there. And we are going to be covering, you know, the MCU going forward because I love the MCU. I absolutely love it. It's my favorite film franchise, and I'm very invested in what they do there with all of these comic characters. I love it. So as we move into, you know, Marvel Phase 4, right? Marvel Phase 4 was supposed to get started earlier this year. We were supposed to get Black Widow. It was supposed to come out actually on my birthday on May 1st, but of course that got delayed because of COVID. Same thing with everything else that got delayed. So next year, Marvel has so much. They have not only 4 MCU films planned, but they have tons of Disney Plus Disney Plus shows that are going to be releasing as well. And this, you know, as you guys see, this was the main stuff that was announced today on top of what we already have. So what we're going to be doing in this video, I have YouTube pulled up. We're going to be reacting to all 3 of the Disney Plus trailers that were released today. If we have time, I don't want to make this video too long. We might even do a reaction to the what if. I do plan on doing weekly reactions to the Disney Plus shows. I don't know how I'm going to do them yet because of copyright. What I'm most likely going to do, I'm most likely going to have like the full reactions up on my Patreon page, which is going to be going live in the next couple weeks. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that if you guys are interested. And I'll have like heavily edited reactions here on YouTube just because of YouTube's copyright system. But we're going to start off by reacting to the WandaVision trailer. I did do a reaction to that a couple weeks ago. Check that out if you guys haven't already. But this is the second trailer. And remember, WandaVision will be coming out January 15th, the first episode of that show. I don't know how many episodes, you know, they plan to do for each of these series. I don't even know how long they're going to be. My guess would be, you know, around 30 to 45 minutes per episode, right? Remember, these are TV shows with like with movie budgets, right? You could see that just here with the quality. So we're going to first react to WandaVision since this is the one that's going to be coming out in a couple weeks. Like I said, I'll be doing a reaction to them. So yeah, let's get into it because we have a ton to get into with this video. I could have easily separated these reactions into separate videos, but I didn't want to do that because, you know, I didn't want to spam you guys with too much. I thought just putting it all into one big video, discussing it all at once would be the best way of doing with this. But let's go into it. WandaVision official trailer 2. Let's go. So you can already tell, you know, a human one. She can't even say his name. I can't wait to see how this goes through the years. Like, is it going to be like every episode is one age? Like, it's like one episode like the 1950s, the next episode's the 60s. I can't wait to see how that all works out. I love the colors. A visionary new age. I like that.
Who are you? I don't know.
See, you can already tell, you know, they're already putting seeds like she's having trouble realizing what's real and what's not. I wonder whose voice that is. Is that like one of the Avengers or somebody?
This is our home.
Then let's fight for it.
Oh, this looks more modern age. All right. So I like it. You know, I'm a big fan of Elizabeth. We know part of this is because Scarlet I'm getting my names mixed up, but we all know Wanda is one of the strongest Avengers. She showed that in Endgame when she was able to take on Thanos by herself, almost defeat him. This is most likely going to be taking place in her mind. I saw a little bit there that you could see the stone that Vision had in his forehead near the end. So this is all going to be mainly about Wanda, right? She hasn't been able to get over the death of Vision. Remember, Vision was not in Endgame at all. So I can't wait to see how it all goes. I feel like it's going to have a really like sad ending, like with, Wanda having to say a final goodbye to actually realize that, her love Vision is actually gone and her having to move on but live his legacy, through her life. We know that Wanda, she's gonna be in Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness. So I feel like we're gonna see a lot of stuff in this series that's gonna connect directly to Doctor Strange 2. And also remember, Doctor Strange will be appearing in Spider-Man 3, which we'll talk about in a little bit because there's so much going on with Spider-Man 3. So I can't wait to see that. Another one I'm hyped for, right? Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Bucky and Sam, we know how they both had the close relationship with Captain America. And, Captain America, he is dead, right? That was confirmed to us in Spider-Man Far From Home. He is gone. So them trying to carry on his legacy, especially, Cap giving Sam the shield. It was implied that Cap was probably going to give it to Bucky, but Bucky didn't accept it, and he gave it to Sam instead. I love this. So this looks like the museum. You guys remember there's like a museum that honors Cap and everything he did back in the day in the 1940s during the World War. So I wouldn't be surprised that in this series we see like an expanded museum now that Cap, he's been in the modern day for all these years and now he actually, passed away after the events of Endgame. The old Cap suit. I love how they have Sam there. I like that visual of Bucky just standing there. I know that they were filming in like some other countries, man. I love the visuals here, bro. That night atmosphere. Was that Captain Britain? I know that they're bringing Carter back. You guys remember, I forget what her name is. I think it was Sharon from Civil War. There's rumors saying that she's going to be playing as Captain Britain. Yeah. The world, needing a symbol since Cap's no longer there. Also, Zemo. I love the way this looks. Ooh, Bucky with the knife. Okay, bet.
So no plan.
Of course. Oh, he looks so nice in the new suit. Look at him. This looks crazy, bro. Like they are not joking when they said they're putting movie budgets into these shows. Disney has the money, so wow. That looks great. Oh, and they got the Captain America music in the background. Oh, hold on. Let me hear that again. Hold on. That sounded so dope. Dun, 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 dun. You guys know Iron Man's my favorite hero, man, but the Captain America music flies hell.
Oh yeah, I can see it working. Gears turning. Oh, they're malfunctioning. They're on fire. God, I hate you.
All right. This one's gonna. I think this one's gonna have the most action out of all the Disney Plus series. Wanda and Vision, I feel like that's gonna be more story based and what's going on with Wanda's mind. But this one, Cap was always an action oriented, character. So I feel like there's gonna be tons of action here, with Sam and Bucky, and I cannot wait for that. I love the way it looks. That night atmosphere they showed at the beginning. I forgot what country they filmed part of this series in, but it looks great. Man, cannot wait for that. So the last trailer, of course, Loki. And we all know, basically, this is not the Loki from present day. We know that, unfortunately, Loki was killed after the events of Thor Ragnarok by Thanos in Infinity War. This Loki is, in a way, the same Loki, but this is Loki post Avengers, the first movie, right? Remember when they went back in time, Loki took the Tazarek and he vanished away. And this is the Loki we're going to see in the series. It's a completely different Loki, right? It's going to be interesting. Will we see Chris Hemsworth's Thor make a cameo appearance? We know that Thor will be in Thor 4, which we'll talk about in just a second. But it's going to be interesting, But I'm very intrigued to see what they do here, because this is not the same Loki that turned into a good guy at the end of Thor Ragnarok, right? So it's like they're replaying the scene from Endgame. Oh, man, I miss Tony, man. I do think Tony may return for Phase 3. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And Hulk, boom. This guy, bro. I loved how they set up his series right there in Endgame, and we didn't even know. At the time, we had no idea they were setting up another show. All right, so he vanished to some kind of desert area. I love it. He has like the short hair he had back in the Avengers. So he cut his hair for the role too. Love it. I love with all three of these shows, they have like completely different themes.
You're taking me somewhere to kill me.
No, I'm taking you someplace to talk.
Well, I don't like to talk.
Oh man, what's the name of this organization? I forgot. The logo on his clothes, like his prisoner outfit.
How long have you been here?
I don't know, it's hard to say. Time passes differently here in the TVA.
What does that mean?
You'll catch up.
So they're probably gonna kill him, but using the MCU, that doesn't really work. Ooh, glorious. Ooh, I like this. So what, does he take over the organization and hold everyone hostage? Ooh, hold on. Let me go back for a sec. Oh, so replaying what? Do they like show his memories or something? They I love how they're just throwing Easter eggs in from all the past Marvel films in these series. All the way back from Avengers 1. Oh, okay, Loki. I can't wait to see him fight. We don't get to see him much. Oh. Brother.
You better be ready.
He jumped off the ship. Oh. Using the Bifrost. You can see just by the logo, right? Just from it changing, man. There's gonna be so many different aspects here. So it's making me think that, just from him mentioning brother, he's clearly talking about Thor. So it's making me think that maybe, potentially, they'll set up, Thor, Chris Hemsworth's Thor, probably a younger version, of course, post Avengers 1, him showing up. But it's going to be very interesting. What's going to be also interesting, is there a chance? Because we know they're setting up the multiverse and everything. Is there a chance that at the end of whatever happens at the end of the Loki series, this version of Loki, he finds his way into the main MCU timeline and he becomes the new Loki of the timeline, right? Or is this just going to be its own standalone thing? It's going to be very interesting to see what they do here. Because we already know main timeline Loki is dead. So, I don't know. Maybe this version of Loki, right? Maybe he ends up back in the main MCU timeline, and that leads to him having a role in Thor 4, Love and Thunder. So, who knows? But I'm very interested in that. All right, before we talk about all the other projects that were announced, just want to make sure you guys remember, for MCU Phase 4, so far they announced or what we know, right? Black Widow, of course. Even though it's kind of a prequel, there will be elements of that will help transition us into what they have planned for MCU Phase 4. We're getting Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings, right? We also have the Eternals. We also, and at the end of the year, we also have Doctor Strange, not Doctor Strange. I think it's Thor, God of Thunder. I'm getting my shit right. It's Thor, Love and Thunder. Yeah, I don't know if that movie's coming out at the end of next year or if they're gonna push it back to 2022. Because I already believe they already have 4 movies planned. Because I already forgot about Doctor Strange 2, which I believe they're filming right now. So those 4 movies we are on the dock, right? We know that Doctor Strange 2 will set up the whole multiverse, right? And the events of WandaVision connect to Doctor Strange 2. We also know that Doctor Strange will be appearing in Spider-Man 3. And Spider-Man 3, we know that Sony and Marvel are working together, right? And, the events of Doctor Strange 2 directly are going to have an effect on Spider-Man 3 because we know that they're bringing back Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. We know that they're bringing back Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man from the Amazing Spider-Man movies. And they're bringing back all these characters. Gwen Stacy, the old MJ. They're bringing back Dr. O, right? The Sinister Six. There's so much they have planned for that movie. So, man, oh man, I cannot wait for that. And remember, they are planning on doing a Spider-Man 4 as well. It's just we don't know if it's going to be with Marvel Studios because we know that they want to do the Spider-Man Venom movie and the live-action Spider-Verse. There's just so much happening with Spider-Man right now. They're filming Spider-Man 3 in New York as we speak. It's just absolutely wild. I can't wait to see how it's all done. But yeah, so that's crazy. We already know Black Panther 2 is still happening. It was reported today that they are not going to be recasting T'Challa. Out of respect for Chadwick Boseman, who just we still haven't recovered. Excuse me. We still haven't recovered from his passing. Still saddened to this day. What I expect to happen is most likely Shuri will take over the role and she'll become the female Black Panther. I feel like they're already gonna have that happen eventually. But if Chadwick hadn't passed away, they would have done that for Black Panther 3 way down the line. Yeah. So that's gonna be interesting. But I do expect Shuri to become the new Black Panther, right? I know there were some reports of the Shuri actor, she disliked some comments or she liked some tweets saying that Black Panther 2 should be canceled, some other things. I feel like she's just still, mourning over Chadwick's death, which is completely understandable. But that movie still supposed to come out in 2022, a year and a half from now. So I expect her to be all ready for that, which is going to be very interesting to see how they pay tribute to Chadwick in that film. What else? I know I'm forgetting something. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, right? And there's other Guardians news, which we'll talk about in just a sec. But we know we're going to get Guardians of the Galaxy 3 to wrap up this version of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And I think the last film is Captain Marvel 2. Captain Marvel 2, which is supposed to come out end of 2022. So those are all I think those are 8 or 9 films they have planned from now all the way up to the end of 2022, right? Captain Marvel 2, we know that's going to have Miss Marvel in there as well. And Miss Marvel is going to have a Disney Plus series, which we'll talk about in just a sec. Oh, and I also forgot the last one, Ant-Man 3. That was also revealed today. Ant-Man 3, I think it's called Quantumania, something like that. I have the title right here, but that's gonna have King the Conqueror, and I'm willing to bet everything that there's no way King the Conqueror is gonna be used just for that Ant-Man movie. I think the events of that movie are gonna lead directly into the next Avengers film, which won't be for a couple years, of course, right? But that's what I expect for right now. But yeah, so here I have, these were all the other projects that were announced today by Disney. So we're going to talk about that real quick before we end the video. I don't know why my thing's acting up. All right, either way, it doesn't matter. We'll just leave like this. But of course, Ant-Man the Wasp, right? Quantumania, that's gonna have Kang the Conqueror. So I'm like I said, that's gonna lead directly into the next Avengers movie, I believe. Right, the fifth Avengers movie. It's gonna be crazy to see how many Avengers they have planned for that film because they're setting up so many heroes, right? So many heroes with all these Disney Plus shows and movies. It's gonna be very interesting to see how they do it for the next Avengers film. Plus, who knows if they bring back any of the original Avengers? I still think there's a chance down the line we might see a return from Chris Evans as Captain America or, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I don't know how they'll do it, but of course you have the multiverse. There's millions of possibilities. All right. We already talked about Captain Marvel 2. We have Marvel Studios' Secret Invasion. That's going to be big. They set that up at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, right? With Nick Fury, he was in space, and we know they're setting up basically like the Space Avengers. I'm forgetting what the name is, but that's basically what he's doing in space because, the events of Infinity War and Endgame prove that, it's not just about Earth, it's about the galaxy now. So Secret Invasion, that's a storyline people have been wanting to see in the MCU for years now. That has the potential to flip the MCU on its head. If you guys think things are going to get confusing with... If you guys thought things were going to get confusing with the multiverse stuff, wait till we get the Secret Invasion, right? Because the whole premise of that is some heroes that you know and love being revealed as imposters. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they do that. Marvel Studios Fantastic Four. I know a lot of people are excited for that, right? I know it's not on here, but don't forget about Deadpool 3. Right, Deadpool 3, because we know all the X-Men characters are going to be brought into the MCU eventually over time. Armor Wars, I'm hyped for that. That one's going to be about Rhodey, War Machine. So John Cheeto, he's getting his own series. But this one, of course, is going to be, it's going to involve the legacy of Tony Stark, of course. And it's a classic story from the comics about, what happens when Tony Stark's technology falls into the wrong hands. So we haven't seen the impact of that yet. We saw a little bit of that in Spider-Man Far From Home. But like I said, the legacy of Tony Stark is always going to be felt throughout the MCU. I do think Robert Downey Jr. is going to be returning to the MCU eventually, right? About Armor Wars, that's, I'm very excited for that because you guys know I love Iron Man, I love War Machine, so definitely can't wait to see how they do. It's a simple story, but it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt it here into the MCU. Maybe we potentially see the return of Ultron, you never know. Also, we have Moon Knight, right? You guys know that. Remember, we also have Blade. I didn't even talk about Blade, right? We know he's going to get a movie into the future. The Hawkeye series, I know a lot of people are iffy on that. In the Marvel's Avengers game that you guys can play on, PS5, Xbox, all that, they just released the Kate Bishop, free DLC. So, and there's been leaked set photos of Hawkeye, and Kate Bishop. So, that's going to be interesting. I hope they do it well because I know there's a lot of people that don't like Hawkeye just because they feel like he's a bland character. But I do. I have no problem. I think Jeremy Renner's a really good actor. And I'm definitely hope, they give him a spotlight and they're able to, make him look really good here. And so people can put respect on his name. She-Hulk, the female version of Hulk. It's going to be interesting to see how they do that. We know that it's been confirmed that Mark Ruffalo's Hulk will make appearances in that. It makes perfect sense. So can't wait for that. Mrs. Marvel, right? We know that Miss Marvel will be in Captain Marvel 2. But she'll be getting her own Disney Plus series. So it's going to be interesting if that comes straight out of the events of Captain Marvel 2 or that happens behind or before. I said behind. Why did I say that? And the last one, of course, is Iron Heart. Me and my boys have been talking about this one for a while because I was hoping they were planning on doing that in the future, right? Not now, but I was hoping they were going to say that for down the line because I'm one that wants the legacy of Tony Stark to have an impact on the MCU forever, right? And I don't want them to rush too quickly on potentially replacing Tony Stark's Iron Man, even though, that can never be done because Robert Downey Jr. left such a great legacy. Plus, you can make the argument that Tony Stark's Iron Man is the most important character in the MCU, even now that he's, passed away after Endgame. But we all know Ironheart, Riley Williams in the comics. She's a young black female, very, very smart, and she designs her own Iron Man armor. And she actually has Tony Stark as her AI. So this could easily be a way they can bring back Robert Downey Jr. They could easily have, pay him a really good amount of money. They have, Disney has the money, so they can easily pay him and have him come back and be an AI for Miss Williams. That would be incredible, right? But they have to get the right actor to play Miss Williams. They have to. I was kind of thinking, if you guys remember Annie from 13 Reasons Why, maybe she could be that person. I don't know, but it's definitely something interesting. It's probably, we're not going to see this series for probably a couple years. I'm thinking around 2023, if I'm being honest, because she's going to be the successor to Tony Stark in the MCU, at least for now. They do remember they have Tony's daughter. All right, you never know. I thought she would be the successor, but remember, during the events of Endgame, she's still really young, so she's not there yet. So it kind of makes sense, right? But it's going to be interesting because if she's going to be the successor for Iron Man like she is in the comics, they have to get her right. It's essential that they get her right. And I hope they do, but we'll just have to wait and see. We don't know right now, right? I'm just checking Marvel's Instagram to make sure I didn't forget anything. All right, yeah. The only thing I forgot, two things. We had I Am Groot, so this is going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy spinoff, but it's going to be like a bunch of mini shorts. It's not going to be like, an actual series, but it's going to be a series of shorts featuring, new and unusual characters. So it's going to be interesting which Groot we're going to get. Is it going to get, we're going to get the Groot that we saw in Endgame, the younger one? Is it going to be, full adult Groot, right? Maybe it's going to be a baby Groot. Who knows? But that would make the most sense for it to be baby Groot, right? Because everyone loves him, especially from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But it's going to be, we'll have to wait and see. And speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, we already know Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. James Gunn did say that he had to make some changes to his script because, they had to change the timeline of things because COVID messed up the schedule. But still, we are going to get Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. But we're also going to get a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. So basically, this will be coming in 2022. So I think that year you're going to be getting two Guardians of the Galaxy projects. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, of course, right? And with Adam Warlock. And you're going to get Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. So that's going to be interesting. I don't know the events of that are going to take place after the third Guardians of the Galaxy film or before. We'll just have to wait and see. But that's going to be very hype. James Gunn is going to be directing both Volume 3 and the Holiday Special for Guardians of the Galaxy. So like I said, yeah, a lot. There's I know it's a lot to break down. Just so much. It's hype. I read somebody said that they believe this is going to be the next couple of years is when we're going to see Disney surpass Hulu as the king of streaming services. That is definitely possible. The amount of content that's going to be on Disney Plus, not just from Marvel alone. We're not even. I didn't even say anything about Star Wars and all the Pixar of projects they have planned. Like, if anybody can get all these projects done, it's Disney. It's Disney at the end of the day. And I expect all these to be absolute bangers. Maybe not Captain Marvel 2, because I didn't like Captain Marvel, the first one. And I'm not the biggest fan of Mrs. Marvel as a character anyway. So we'll see what they have planned for Captain Marvel 2. But still, if anybody can get all these projects done. It's Disney, it's Kevin Feige, it's the people at Marvel Studios, and it's going to be great, right? And I feel like all this is going to lead to the next Avengers film. I don't know if it's going to be like a two-parter like they did with Infinity War and Endgame. You know, I feel like it must, because you're bringing in all these characters, right? You're continuing stories of new characters that we've seen already through the first three phases of the MCU. And now you're bringing in tons and tons of new characters, right? So who knows how many of these characters are going to have an impact once we get to that next Avengers film. So, and like I said, my prediction is the next Avengers film will probably be in 2024, right? You know, less than 4 years from now. And it's probably gonna have King the Conqueror as the main villain. We'll see how Ant-Man 3, you know, sets all of that up. But it's gonna be crazy. I expect it to be absolutely crazy. Will it be better than Endgame or Infinity War? It's way too early to tell, right? But this is Marvel we're talking about, and they love to do the impossible, right? But before we get out of here, you know, the last bit of Marvel news that came out of the Disney investors meeting, I feel like I'm recording a small podcast covering all this. You know, I feel like this video's been recording for almost 30 minutes at least already. But the last thing is the exclusive first look at What If. So this is going to be an animated. You know, it's not going to be in the Marvel Studios timeline, but it's a what if. So it's going to be taking all of the main films that we've seen so far from the MCU and putting in these different what if scenarios. Like, for example, what if instead of Steve Rogers, it was Agent Carter, right? It was Agent Carter that got stuck with the super soldier serum, and she became, you know, Captain America, right? So there's going to be tons. I know Chadwick Boseman, this was like the last thing he recorded for Disney or for Marvel Studios before he passed. He was getting ready for Black Panther 2, but unfortunately, you know, cancer got in the way of that. But it's going to be interesting. I believe this is supposed to come out next summer for Disney Plus. So they got a short little trailer. So let's take a quick look at that. Nick Fury. It looks really good animated. Like, the animation's clean. I love the way it looks. Star-Lord.
It's a prison of endless possibility. Well, that doesn't sound ominous at all.
Is that Samuel Jackson? I don't know. It sounded a little, you know, like a different voice. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know if that's Samuel Jackson voicing, because I know they had most of the main MCU actors voicing their characters for this, since it is, you know, an MCU project. All right, there's Kim's husband with Thor. There's Iron Man. I hope and pray that Robert Downey Jr. is voicing him. Nobody else should be. That's clearly a scene from Iron Man 2. Oh, T'Challa as Star-Lord. What? Whoa. All right, so yeah, this is there's Howard Stark. This is Agent Carter.
You have a super soldier.
I love the way it looks. It reminds me of the Clone Wars.
Seem too freaked out about all this, kid.
Oh, okay. There's the young T'Challa. So joining Udanta. Wow.
What you doing out there all by yourself anyway?
Exploding the world.
Exploring the world.
But why stop at one world when we can show you all of them?
Hold on, who was that?
Show you
So that's Bucky, right?
all of them.
There's Doctor Strange. So what, is that supposed to be Star-Lord? I don't know. Interesting. And clearly they're going to be doing what if series for every single movie. All of them. That was what Kevin Feige says. I feel like this is just for the ones that they already have complete. Right. Ooh, the Watcher. Nice.
Through these vast new realities.
Was that Hawkeye or was somebody else playing him? Like I said, with this What If series, that looks like Clint, but I can't tell. I think that's Clint. There's Captain Marvel, Thor. Oh, zombie Captain America versus Bucky.
And ponder the question.
What if, right? That's the question.
What if?
There you go. Like I said. Oh, Doctor Strange facing an evil version of himself. That could honestly be an Easter egg for Doctor Strange too, if you think about it. But wow, I love it. I love it. This looks incredible. I can't wait to actually get to see this. You know, there's so much coming to Disney Plus. Like I said, you know, Disney Plus might be the #1 streaming service in the next 2 or 3 years. They are going all out. Like, they are going to be set new standards for what a streaming service is. These are like I said, these are movie budgets going to these projects. Just go watch The Mandalorian, right? The quality that you see there, that's something you only see in a movie. But Disney has so much money. They make so much money off these franchises, from all the toys, the movies, the merchandise, everything. And then they just reinvested back into their company, making all this content because they know it's going to make them even more money in the long run. I don't know if if Disney Plus is going to ever, like, they choose to raise their prices or something like that. Because right now you can pay like $12 and get, ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus. That's a steal for $12. But with all the content that's going to be coming to Disney Plus in the next couple of years, God willing, right? It's something. All right, like I said, they're gonna break walls, set new standards for what to expect from a streaming service with all this original content that they have planned. And I'm here for it, man. The next couple of years are gonna be a ride. They have so much on the docks, but if anybody can get this all set, it's Marvel. They don't play games. They don't. But I cannot wait for all that. But other than that, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. I don't even know what I'm going to call this video, because I guess it's a reaction, but to me, it kind of felt like a mini Marvel podcast. We just went through everything the MCU has planned, and this is all just for the next 2-3 years, right? Most of this stuff will be coming out in 2022, 2021, some of it will be moved to 2023, but the next 2.5 years, man, Marvel, it's going to be absolutely wild. It's going to be crazy, and I can't wait to see it all. But other than that, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. If you guys stayed here for the entire video, you guys are beasts. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, man. Like I said, I'll be keeping you guys updated with all things the MCU for the most part, right? Lots of cool things coming, and I cannot wait. Thank you guys for the love and support. Follow me on social media. The links are in the description down below. I'm going to get out of here, man. And until then, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, y'all. Peace.